I know the military does a lot of training, but have you had any kind of training in regards to sleep or how you're supposed to sleep?
No, and that is surprising in some ways and not so much in others. I mean, again, going back to the whole cultural thing and the military priding themselves on being able to get by on very little sleep, they didn't feel the need to train people to sleep because you're tougher if you can get by on little sleep. So in my 22 years of active duty experience, I never got any training on how to sleep. Things to do, what not to do, none of that. So that made it hard. The units that I went forward with, we all had a pre-deployment training program, and you've got 6 months before you deploy that you're doing workups, and within those workups we never once got any training on sleep or sleep issues or how to deal with those issues.
Alright, well, did you ever ask for any help with sleep, and if you did, what kind of stuff were you given?
I did on a couple occasions. The religious ministry team, we worked very closely with the corpsmen, the doctors, and particularly in mass casualties, you work side by side. So we got to know the docs real well, and I would go in and ask them for something to help me sleep. And typically I would get Ambien or Flexeril, but you can't live for long on pills like that. They don't work long term. So it was just, I would use that here and there where I really needed it. And I would carry them around with me as I needed. Aside from that, when it came to the people that would come in to see us and we knew they were having sleep issues, we would typically send them to see the psychologist. And the psychologist had some things they could do to help people get to sleep. And a lot of that, they would refer the people back to the doc for Ambien. And aside from that, it was just a matter of trying to teach them stress coping techniques.
Yeah. Alright, what do you think would be most realistic in helping or considering the environments that you were operating in?
I think teaching troops how to control their body systems and the functions would be helpful, particularly when it comes to stress or just relaxing at the end of the day. So when you've only got a few minutes and you're trying to get to sleep within that few minutes time, how do you relax yourself? Are there meditation type techniques you can use that would help? I know for me it typically takes 30 minutes to an hour before I can doze off to sleep. So being able to cut that down to 5 minutes would be a big help. Another one is if units would include training on good sleep hygiene in their pre-deployment training. Teach people, you know, what are some of the things you should do when you're in an environment where you can't get a lot of sleep or a lot of regular sleep. Things that you shouldn't do. I mean, for instance, is it okay to take a nap? And if you can take a nap, if it's good, do you take a nap for 30 minutes? Do you take a nap for an hour? Or does it do your body no good at all to have a nap?
Yeah.
Or does it make it even harder to fall asleep at night? I have no idea. And I'm not sure how to handle that. But if we had some form of pre-deployment training that would help us with some of those things, I think that would really be helpful. Also making information available. What are, 5 tips, best practices in operational environments, heavy environments, that troops could access on the internet or through some kind of a mobile application or mobile app.
Yeah. Alright. Are you aware of any resources that might be helpful to other troops that are struggling with their problem or the sleep problem?
Yeah, I found a few. Unfortunately, I didn't find them until after I came back from my last deployment. But I printed out a list for you.
Okay.
And it's got some helpful resources. Some of it, they're PDFs, some documents that show what some of the best practices are. They talk about things like, is it okay to take a nap?
Are there any other questions that you think might be helpful?
No, I think you've done a good job. You've really covered your bases, I think.
Alright, well I appreciate all your help and thank you for everything.
Yep, it's my pleasure.